Guys, on to another video. You love these. Income, our earnings. So also guys, I am putting a video up of what reasons why I would not own another static caravan on a holiday pack, but there's lots of positives as to why, and I've put those videos on, and I may do more as the season goes on. So firstly, we have owned this caravan almost a year. We first came to see it last September, and then it became ours. Was it end of September, October time? I couldn't exactly tell you, but it became ours, and we didn't rent it out until the new season started, which was in February, and that's how Park Dean have worked with us. So we've been able to rent sort of February half terms, so sort of middle of February-ish, right up until the first weekend of November. That's our season. This park is open 12 months of the year. I'm not sure if all facilities are open, but we can be here 12 months of the year. Personally, you couldn't live here, but we can use it, or it can be rented out, etc. But only the park will only rent it out on our behalf from the February till the first week of November, just so you're aware. So we have pretty much done the peakish seasons, weeks, days, because we have had it for, well, we will have by the time we finish this trip, for 10 days. So let's get started. So February, this is where we started. We rented it out for 10 days within February, which wasn't bad. We did have it for some of the time ourselves, and we took a whole total of £559.50. That was a starting point. That was our sort of, let's get into it, but then the gas bottles started coming because it was cold. We learned on that one. March, we rented for a grand total of 25 nights. So we did rent it for quite a lot. I think we may have only had one weekend in March here ourselves, but as you can see, we're having weekends. So if we didn't have those weekends here, it'd be more income if we wanted to rent it out more. That was 1225.71, which it took. That's not too bad for us anyway. In April, it took £942 for a grand total of 14 nights. That's because we not rented it, but we allowed family, etc. to stay, I believe, in April, and we used it ourselves for being school holidays and stuff. In May, this is the next one, we had 22 nights, and this is where the income started to go up, and that was £2,119. Okay, then we move on to June. Again, it's not school holidays, so this is why it's not really as much. Grand total of 18 nights. And when I talk about nights, it's not necessarily consecutive nights. People might come for 7, might come for 10, might come for 2. You know, there's all the different options. So it's June, did I say June? Yes, 18 nights at £1,187. Then we move on to July. This is when the school holiday started, so the amount does start to go up, which is what you'd expect. It's the season. These places get fully booked where we are. We're very lucky on that. 22 nights and £2,398. Then we move on to August. Now, we have had this sort of, I think it was the first week, sort of towards the end of July, beginning of August, there was a week there, and we've also had it for 10 nights at the end of the month. So we've had quite a bit of the school holidays, which works for us, and if we'd have had to pay that, it would have been huge money. 17 nights for August, and that was £2,642. So that takes the income that the park have taken to £11,073.26. They take 30%. That's the agreement. That covers them cleaning it, changing it, passes for the guests, managing the bookings, taking the payments. So all that fun stuff. Holding our money as well. So we've so far earned £7,751.25 before any costs. We still have 50 nights of bookings to go. We have been crazily booked up. We don't know. I do know the reasons why, pretty much. And I will do another video on how we've maximised our income. So if you would like to watch that, please subscribe. Hit the notifications bell and you will be able to see that. also any bits and pieces I learn about owning a caravan as we go along. So that to me is okay. It's covering its costs, it's covering all those gas bottles, it's covering the insurance, it's covering the rates, it's covering next year's ground rent site fees, because we didn't have to pay those this year. They got thrown in for free. That was part of our agreement. So I would just like to say a positive is we have been able to use it. We're not just full out just renting for the sake of renting. We use this caravan. If say a weekend comes up that we don't need it, or a week that we've got or whatever, we give it back to the park and say, see if you can get it, and if they can, they can, if they can't, they can't. However, it's better if you have your weeks locked in earlier, because you're more likely to get a booking. There is the risk that someone could be upgraded, moved, changed, cancelled. I don't know quite what happens, and you might think you've got a booking coming in, but until they've actually booked in and they're in, you might be able to see your income, but until they're actually here, it's not a guaranteed income source. That's just something to be aware of. That is a bit of a negative. Yep. So let's talk about some of the costs I have in previous videos. So we have had rates recently in. I may have spoken this in my last video, but that's around 550. I think it's like the council tax type, business rates, water. I'm not quite sure, but that's around £550, which is going to be offset against our income. Gas bottles, they're around £102 a bottle. We reckon we'll have had 6 to 8 of those by the end of the year, so just something to consider. Electricity is turning out to be about £50 a quarter, which isn't too bad considering the amount of use we've got. Insurance is £23 a month. We also personally pay for internet just for when we're here. We're not allowed to keep it in for when people come, and that's £23 a month. I'm sure there's potentially other costs. We've had some repairs, like talked about a toilet seat and a tap. After that, we asked them to make sure they tell us about any costs, but they actually have covered the cost of that because we're still in our first year of ownership. So that got fixed. We've had burst pipes. The sofa bed broke and they put a new one in. I haven't seen any cost for that, but that could still come. There's just been really repairs to keep it up to standard, which they should do. Overall, it's been kept pretty nice by the people renting it. We always give it a deep clean when we visit, so it's getting at least a decent deep clean once a month, although the cleaners do a good maintaining clean and keep it nice for the people coming to stay. We can't complain about that. I've heard some people turning up to really dirty caravans, not on this site thankfully, but on other sites, and that's not what you want to do. When you're coming away with your family, you want to turn up, be nice and clean, beds fresh, made up, ready to go, don't you? You don't want grime and dirt and having to wash everything before you use it. I mean, I do that anyway because I'm a bit funny about stuff like that, but not because it needs to be done, because I want to. So that's where we are. That's the income. I hope you find that useful, because I definitely know these sorts of videos would have helped me when thinking about whether we purchase one of these caravans or not. Bearing in mind, ours is a slightly older caravan. We've only got another year after this of renting through the park. They did mention maybe another year. I don't know if that was just sales or what, but whether we will or not, doesn't matter. So we have to either decide to upgrade or start renting ourselves out. A lot of people have said it's really easy to rent yourself out. I do like the security of the park doing it, because they're dealing with the people. We're not dealing with them. We're not taking anything personally. It's all through them. As far as people know, they're renting through the park, not through us. They don't know if it's an owner's or it belongs to the park, so that's sort of things to consider if you do think about one of these. Make sure you watch my video on why I wouldn't buy a caravan, for some negatives to think about, some questions you might want to ask when you buy a caravan. So take care, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all your support. I'll try and put a few videos of us enjoying our caravan on it as well. Thank you. Bye. You're really brave. Where did you get to? Did you have a swim?
She's the dog I've dreamed of.
Honestly, that was...